What could a laptop ban do to either fares or traffic?
So it's obviously a big potential impact on demand for flights. I think particularly for people traveling to the U.S. On a discretionary basis, it will make people consider other options. There's something like 100,000 seats that fly every day from Europe into the U.S. And not being able to have any electronics on the flight is going to cause people to decide maybe to consider somewhere else for a vacation or maybe try to do their meeting by video.
Riza, what's the thinking from where you are regarding the reasons, which obviously we're not privy to, as to why these things might be necessary?
Well, on the one hand, there are legitimate national security concerns, oftentimes predicated on intelligence that only a small number of people in government have access to. But on the other hand, we have to consider what the tremendous costs are of taking steps, whether it's the travel ban or a laptop ban. In the aftermath of 9/11, $600 billion hit the tourism industry took in our country. And analysts are already predicting upwards of $18 billion over the next year or two to the tourism industry. So we really have to take a step back and try and find a better way to balance our national security interests with our economic and, frankly, humanitarian interests.
So where would you argue that balance is?
I think the balance is taking steps that actually address core security interests. So, like I said, if there's intelligence that we're not privy to with regards to the laptop ban, the government, A, needs to do a better job of trying to explain these kinds of things, and B, explain why previous administrations hadn't taken these kinds of steps, and then C, and perhaps most importantly, work to make sure that the economic hit that not only our country but other countries take are minimized as much as possible.
Patrick, there's also talk about the need for a lot of airports to have within 21 days more scanners for detection and explosives. Have you looked at that issue at all and what impact it might have?
Well, not scanners specifically, but we certainly look at what people's preferences are in terms of travel. And we've already seen a pretty significant shift in terms of where Americans are looking to fly, shifting away from international destinations and more towards domestic ones. That's, I think, driven by these kinds of concerns about security risks, bad publicity that you're hearing from places all around the world with these kinds of terrorism incidents and so forth.
That's interesting, because that's just the opposite, say, of what we were just hearing from Reza, which is if you increase security too much, then people don't fly. But you're saying, conversely, security is not high enough. People don't want to fly because they have fears.
Yeah, I think there's people don't necessarily make these kind of decisions on a purely, rational basis. It's a big emotional component, and I think if you're, hearing all these kinds of bad things going on around the world, then that may cause you to make different decisions about where you travel.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.